everybody, Melissa here from Valley Kids Children's Ministry to talk to you today about what happens when we're forced to make a godly decision in a quick moment. How does God respond, and how can we choose to make the right decision? So in order to show you this, you're going to need a few supplies. You'll need a glass of water. You'll need a plastic plate with some sort of a rim. You'll need a toilet paper roll, and you'll need a raw egg. Seriously, a raw one, be careful. Now, in this experiment, the cup of water is going to represent God or your godly decision. And there are going to be some things that keep you or could keep you from making your godly decision. That's represented by your plate, maybe a what if scenario. What if I make the godly decision and it goes wrong? What if I make the godly choice and my friend doesn't like me? What if? You'll also probably be faced with some fears. So when you're in a situation where you're forced to make a decision and you have the option to make the godly decision, sometimes there's a lot of fear that keeps us from that too. Fear of something going wrong, fear of the what if scenario, tons of fears. And finally, the raw egg, the very fragile piece, represents us. We have some things that can keep us from making godly decisions. So what do we do about it? Okay, let's have some real talk. In order to be a person who's able to make godly decisions in a quick moment, we have to be a person that practices following God and practices making godly decisions. What do I mean by this? What I mean is when you brush your teeth in the morning or when you go to the bathroom, you don't have to think about it, right? Brushing your teeth is part of your morning routine. You get up, you brush your teeth, you brush your hair, you put on clothes, and you go about your day. When you go to the bathroom, your body has trained you to know, oh, I need to use the bathroom. It's not something that's hard to make because in that split decision, you have trained yourself to know how to do it. It's like a habit. Fun fact, did you know that it takes 21 days to create a habit? I wonder what kind of habits we could be creating as we're staying home right now. Habits to be reading our Bible regularly, or habits to be writing our prayers in a prayer journal so we practice talking to God. The more we practice ways to make godly decisions, the better we're able to make those godly decisions when we're faced with a moment to make a choice. So, step one of all of this experiment is realizing that for us to be able to make godly decisions, we have to do things and practice ways to get in the habit of making a godly decision. When we do that, we're able to quickly push out the fears and the what ifs and the things that keep us from the godly decision so that we're able to see what happens when we do. Let me give you a few examples. Are you totally on the edge of your seat yet as to what is going to happen to this egg? I'm gonna try and get this egg into this cup of water, but these things are blocking me. I need to make the quick decision to get them out of the way so that I can make the godly decision. Here's an example. Let's say that your mom's been bugging you for days about cleaning your room. You know that the obedient godly decision is to clean your room. But all of a sudden, your best friend calls to FaceTime you. And you haven't talked to your best friend and you really, really like this best friend. So what do? Do you clean your room like your mom asks? Or do you take the FaceTime call and ignore your mom for the 5th time in a row? If you take the FaceTime call, you're totally gonna disrespect your mom. But if you obey your mom, there might be fear of what your friend might think of you. What if your friend doesn't like you? What if your friend gets mad at you? You have 5 seconds to make the godly decision. 5, 4, 3, 2. You're too scared. You don't make the godly decision. You take the FaceTime call and your mom is disappointed again. Okay, second scenario. What if you are in a fight with your sibling? You're fighting over a toy and your sibling is totally being obnoxious because the toy is yours and you deserve to play with it. And you know that the right thing to do would be to take a breath and be patient and to kindly sort it out. But you're just so annoyed with your sibling. And what if you choose to be kind and your sibling doesn't even care? Or what if you choose to use kind words and your sibling tells on you anyway? Quick, you have 5 seconds to make the right choice. 5, 4, 3, 2. Do you make the godly choice? No, you don't. You choose to yell at your sibling anyway. You don't make the godly choice. And you let fear and what ifs win. All right, last decision. What if you're playing video games with your friends? You're all hooked up and you're talking to each other, and all of a sudden the conversation changes from the video game into talking about a friend at school who, well, maybe he's not a friend because people start saying mean things about him. You know that in this situation, the godly choice is to tell everybody to stop talking about him. He's not here to defend himself, and it's not the right thing to do. But what if you make that godly decision? What if you choose to speak up? Fear is keeping you from that, right? What if you choose to speak up and everybody tells you that you're silly for doing that, or they start making fun of you instead? What if you choose to speak up and do the godly choice and they don't invite you to play video games next time? You have 5 seconds to decide. What are you going to do when you're faced to make the godly choice in a quick decision? How can you become closer to that godly choice and kick these fears and what ifs out of the way? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You do it. You tell them, guys, it's not right to talk about someone when they're not here. You kick the fears and the what ifs out. And what does God do when you choose the godly choice? He catches you every single time. You see, God knows that making godly decisions is not easy. He knows that lots of times what ifs and fears get in the way. But when we can practice following God, so that when we're faced to make that choice in a quick moment, that we can act so quickly, he's gonna catch us. And he's gonna do everything possible to make sure that these things don't get in the way. How do we practice making the godly choice? Reading scripture, listening to godly music, praying and talking to God regularly. When we do, there's nothing that can keep us from God. No fear, no what if, or anything. Because he promises to catch us every time.